Yeah, yeah, Father. I mean, if we think about Father's Day, um, and I'll the first track on the album is "I'll Do for You." Um, we had what was the sample on that, Steve? Do you remember?
Sherilyn.
Sherilyn, yeah.
Sherilyn, yes, and you had Mary featured on that. Um, I mean, good track. But what was your recollection about recording that, and when they brought the sample?
Well, let's even take it a step further. Treat 'Em Like You Want to Be Treated was my first single. We had 78 remixes, 79 remixes for Treat 'Em Like You Want to Be Treated because the album wasn't ready.
79 remixes.
79 remixes. We were on. I bought my first house on my first single, on my single, because I was promotional touring and I was regular touring at the same time. And they wanted the album so bad. They wanted the album so bad, and it wasn't done. Now I'm gonna take you and I'm gonna bug you out. I don't know if you remember the artist Dave Hollister.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Blackstreet. Before I let
I
you
was the
go.
first one to put Dave Hollister on the record. He was on Lisa Baby.
Yes,
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 it
yes.
was on the album mix.
So I'll Do For You was supposed to be the original that the world never heard was Father MC and Dave Hollister. But being that Treat 'Em blew up so much that Andre, while I was on tour, Andre got Mary to go in the studio and get the remixes because the album wasn't ready. They kept sending me the different studios on the road, and it wasn't working out because they had to fly the producers to where I was at, and I was all over the place. So what happened was they cut the tour, they cut me getting money, they cut the promotional tour, finished this album. The record I'll Do For You with Mary, they stripped the one with Dave Hollister. And
Wow.
the one with Mary was supposed to be a remix because they was getting prepared because it was Father Mania. Then Dre said, forget this. I'm throwing out the one with Mary as the single. And
Wow.
the world never heard the one with Dave Hollister. And Dave Hollister was on Lisa Baby. If you look at Father's Day, you'll see the credits.
Yeah,
Dave
yeah, yeah,
Hollister.
yeah, yeah.
But being that I'll Do For You blew up even crazier, Jodeci Devontae did a remix with Puff, with Diddy, the Lisa Baby, and we shot the video to that, so it nudged Dave Hollister out the way.
Wow.
Wow.
Did
I think they
yeah.
made the right call though to put Mary on because that single he took
It was
right
it
off.
was it was
It
the
was
right
huge.
thing to do. The sample, everything.
It was massive, massive single back then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, off that first album though, because when you think about, I mean, what was your first impression when you saw and heard of Jodeci? Because I know Eddie and everyone talks about while they blew, they were all impressed. But for you, having them do the backgrounds for Treat 'Em.
I knew it was out of here. When I heard it, I knew it was out of here. I knew I wanted, I was raised first of all, I used to go down south every summer. So moms used to send me down south every summer to I was bad in New York, so she'd send me get a break. And you know, the Haley brothers, they were making noise in
Ah,
Charlotte, and I was
yeah.
in Rock Hill in Charlotte, and I knew of them. So at the end of the day, it made all the sense in the world to me. And I knew Corey Rooney was singing "Treat 'Em Like You Want to Be Treated." But when
Oh, before.
Jodeci got on it, Jodeci took it to a whole nother. I was like it's being an artist is like, and being around artists that were artists back then, like massive. I knew that where I was going in the right direction. I knew that when this record comes, I'm out of here. But I'll
Mm.
never forget, I was at a radio station in DC, and they was like, let's hear your other record. What you coming with next, Father? And you ain't supposed to do this. So the program director took me in the back, and I played a little bit about Do for him. And he said like this. He just, white guy too, with a cowboy hat. His name was Cowboy. And he told me, it was a P1 station, and he told me, he said, you're out of here. He said, if you think Treat 'Em took you out of here, he said, I'll Do For You's gonna do it. Get ready to fasten your seatbelt. And I waited to see, and I kid you not, as soon as they put it on, it was out. It was over. It was over.
Wow.
Wow.
But when you think of it though, Lisa Baby is a real new Jack. I mean, I said people don't give Corey Rooney and Mark Morales the credit that they deserve because they were on your first two albums your go-to producers. They did the bulk of your stuff, and the fact that Corey could sing as well. I'll talk later about oh, what was that other track? Ladies, I love them. I just loved his singing on that. But going to we're stuck on the first album, Lisa Baby, really funky track. I mean, what was your did they play the track and then you just write to it, or how did
No,
that
I
come?
wrote the records before I even knew what music I was getting. I wrote "I'll Do for You." I wrote "I'll Do for You." I wrote "Treat Them Like You Want to Be Treated" on the Long Island Railroad. I wrote "I'll Do for You" in my dining room in Far Rockaway, Queens, on the table. Well, excuse me. Let you know the time. And then Lisa Baby, I wrote in my bedroom. I kid you not, in my bedroom because I had to go to the studio that night, like in 2 hours. And I just same thing, making a beat on and doing
Ah,
this on the beating the table and writing the record.
Did you have a girlfriend at the time called Lisa?
That
Just
was
it's a
it
whole
wasn't
story.
Lisa, but it was a real
It faked
story.
her. Yeah, thought so. Because the whole story just went on in that record, didn't it?
Yeah,
And
I could get wait till you hear the new, but I'm just joking.
I
Yeah.
spoke to her many years ago. I spoke to Howie T. It was via Facebook. I had a
Oh my
Facebook
God.
conversation, and I was asking him about an artist also that featured on that first album, Lady Kazam,
That was
and
his
he,
wife.
yeah. So what happened to her? Because he said he worked on an album with her at the time. She featured on Father's Day on a single. I've been watching you for a while. So what was going on with her at the time?
She was Howie T's wife.
Didn't know that. Didn't know that.
Yeah, and that was his girl, and she was fine too. Jesus, Lady Sam was fine, man, for real. But she could rap, and
Yeah.
she was on my album. I've been watching you for a while. Who me? Yeah, yeah. She was that girl, but I never knew what happened with Howie T and whatever with the song. But it was crazy. Howie T produced records on my first album too. Great producer too.
yeah.
She was
And
what she
I'm
was
going
going to
to his.
Uptown.
I'm at
She
his
got deals
studio.
with
I'm at his studio. I remember, and Special Ed was on fire at this time. And I see Special Ed and Chubb Rock. They going on tour. The tour bus out there. I was so amped to go to the studio. Like, yeah, I see the tour bus. I see all these cats getting Heinekens and girls on the bus. I'm like, oh shit! Took my mind out of the studio. I wanted to go with them, and then they just looking at me like, yeah, this is what the work is for. And I'll never forget. I'm sitting there. I couldn't even concentrate. We was doing the record Father's Day, and I couldn't concentrate. We had to come back because I was so mind blown that these guys these are superhero stars to me, and they're
Okay.
going on the road, and I'm doing the same thing that they did to get to that point.
Mhm.
And God is so good because I remember when I made it. Now I remember me and Special Ed at the pool, which we was on tour with Salt and Pepper. I think it was a spot date at this time, and he's giving me advice about the industry and the stuff that I should watch out for. And I'm just like, I'm here. I'm here with this dude. It's a different setup.
Yeah. Another song that an album cut that doesn't get much credit is "I Come Correct." I mean,
Dr. Dre tried to sue us.
are you kidding me?
Yeah, Mark and Corby produced that record, and they caught heat for that record, but it wasn't a sample. Corey played everything. And I would never forget when they tried to sue us. I said, well, y'all take that shit to Mark and Corby because I ain't the producer.
But what
And,
was the
and I never forget Dre asking me, do you want to keep that record on the album? And I was like, yeah. And that was because that was a real record about my lifestyle at
yeah?
that time. Let's cut out all the suits and all the good stuff. That was really father. And I wanted to have something of my original for me.
Yeah.
You know, to change up the game, I knew when Dre took me to lunch and told me, you know, I'm gonna make you a star. I knew what he was talking about because now I'm reading the politics. I'm getting it. And I'm like, okay, but still I can't give everything. I gotta still keep something to me, and that was I Come Correct.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to give my top 10 away, but I actually, I mean, it's an unsung track that people probably don't really give much credit to. But what was Dr. Dre's issue about it? What did he think you sampled?
I think they thought that we sampled, and I knew for a fact if he took us to court, he would lose because I was there when Corey played it, literally. And it wasn't a sample, and I never heard the record ever before, so I never knew. I think they end up working it out where no one never got sued or anything, and I think Corey proved that he played it.
Yeah.
Hey guys, thanks for watching. Thanks for being a part of Halftime Chat. Please remember to subscribe, share, and comment. But most importantly, why don't you become a member of Halftime Chat? We've got amazing videos, amazing perks, and being able to support the channel. But anyway, thanks for watching. Take care.
I never participated in that category.
And somewhere in between us, or even loving us, on which I didn't miss you with.
What was it like growing up?
She's still making an impact on 4 houses down.
I have a couple pieces.
Trying to get this one and that one.
That works for me, but just for me,
No, okay, you're okay.
They don't understand what jodeci boys are winning all spirits.
Play it.